This is Perris County Roleplay, created by Mountain Interactive, and it somehow brings in over $5,000 a month with less than 300 concurrent players. But how on earth do they do it? Well, to understand that, we're gonna have to go back in time a bit. This is Johnson Studios, the creator of San Valentino and Once Upon a Time in Rosewood. Both games initially released as startup-based communities. The games don't necessarily matter to the story, but the creator does, Ryle. So how does this correlate to the creator of Perris? Who even is the creator of Perris? Well, this is David. He's the creator of Mountain Interactive, the holder company for both Victor Valley, LA, California, and Perris, California. You'll be familiar with the first one, but let's get back to the origins. David was a big contributor to the owner of Johnson Studios. He, like many others, saw the great potential in Ryle's games. But David didn't want to be a part of the community. He wanted to own it. And after 2 years of large contributions and turned down offers, David said, "Nah, I'ma do my own thing." And oh boy, he did just that. Roughly around August of 2021, development began on Victor Valley, and it was innovative in a lot of interesting ways. The most notable being how far you spawned from the city. I mean, the map was huge, just ginormous. Personally, I believe this was to incentivize serious roleplay, because if you died, not only was there a respawn cooldown, but you'd have to drive all the way back to town, which I'm not even trolling, took 3 minutes going the speed limit. And yes, while a lot of the things in the game were free assets, this was just the beginning. There was a lot more to come, or so we thought. It was around 2022 that, unfortunately, David had a tragic family event, on top of the fact he was getting crap from his developers to finish deadlines. This pressure made him essentially say, fuck it, and he decided to do a 180 on his plans. David started developing a simple paid system, where most team guns and cars were now locked behind a paywall. But this wasn't any ordinary paywall. A lot of the teams and guns were already locked behind a game pass, though you'll soon see David took this a step further. He began development on a monthly subscription service that was valued at USD and not Robux. It's unknown how much the early subscription cost, but it's estimated that on the first day activating the subscription, he made $4,000 USD, and this was just the humble beginnings. Fast forward to February of 2023, the first teaser for David's new game, Perris County, was released, later being fully released that same year. The subscription service was mostly finalized with more teams being added, but you're probably still confused. How does the system even work? Well, when you join a game, most teams will be locked behind subscriptions. Let's say you click on FBI. You need gold membership to access this team, and it'll be a different subscription depending on the team. Then it will give you a basic tutorial on how to pay for the membership. And you might be wondering, doesn't this break TOS? Well, not really, but we'll get more into that later. Once you go through the system, you'll be presented with the membership page. Reminder, this is for a Roblox game. And yeah, it's as simple as that. The payment system is secure using Stripe, so it's nothing fishy. But with all that being said, we can't ignore the controversy. Just to reiterate, do not harass or attempt to seek out anyone listed in this video. It's just not worth it. Move on with your life, bro. Trust me. Alright, back to the video. From the start, it was widely known that Mountain Interactive used a lot of free assets, and as you know, we said this earlier when it was shown in Victor Valley, with the civilian cars, the maps, roads, structures, and of course, the gun system, which is just ACS. Since the dawn of time, free assets have been hated in the game development world, and I understand where people are coming from. It's basically like having an art gallery, but instead of making the art, you just buy it. Though I'm gonna give my 2 cents here. Personally, I don't care if a game uses free assets. I just care about an optimized system and a functioning moderation, which unfortunately MI fails to do. But they have a new game in the works, which I hope can hit those 2 marks. Even more unfortunately, the controversy doesn't end here. Corruption. Dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. Listen, this is everywhere, but let's explore why and how this happens to a game like Mountain Interactive. Number 1. Weak institutions. Believe it or not, Mountain Interactive is a registered business that pays out certain individuals. But why do mods decide to break their own rules and basically go rogue? Well, this occurs because of a lack of oversight and accountability. Complex systems with vague or flexible rules give people room to exploit the system, and for many watching, this has been a reality, which is why it's extremely necessary to listen to your community when they say a certain mod isn't up to code, or if a rule isn't specified enough. Bottom line, a mod shouldn't be able to remove someone just because they believe they're unfit. There must be rules in place that they broke without a reasonable doubt. When there's vague or flexible rules, it will cause corruption. Certain people will be removed under a loopholed rule, and 9 times out of 10, they were removed because of a bias. But don't blame yourself. It's a reality of most moderation systems that aren't under law, or they are under law. A good example being YouTube. They could basically terminate or demonetize a channel without a second thought, basically ending someone's career. And this wouldn't be reversed unless there were societal pressures, which is why it's important to listen to your community. Even if you believe this part of your community is bad, you should still hear them out. I figured out that this happens because of concentration of power. The more unchecked power a person or group has, the easier it is to misuse it. Basically, no one really checks on the higher ups to make sure they're doing the right thing. And unfortunately, it's very common to take advantage of opportunities when nobody's looking, even if it affects others negatively. It's just low risk, high reward, and it's human nature to take that gamble. The payment system. Does it break Roblox TOS? Alright, so I didn't record a script for this part, so I'm just gonna quickly go over this. It does say right here that selling Roblox assets for real money off platform is not permitted. I mean, it says that in TOS. But at the same time, they do allow game passes for USD that are monthly subscriptions. So it's kind of a loophole, and I'm going to tell you why it's different. In David's case, he has the money going through his business, Mountain Interactive, and Roblox doesn't make the commission, which is why it's against TOS, just because they don't make money on their assets, which I can understand, but at the same time, they're $1 billion corporation, so it's not like they're missing out on anything at all. So in my case, I don't think he's doing anything wrong here. And that's just my opinion. Back to the video. Here's my final thoughts on the game. When there's money involved, you must have a system in place to make sure rules are followed to a T, no matter what. Because if or when you fail to do this, people get hurt, which is where half the controversy comes from. Corruption. Another thing is, people are upset at the fact that such a low effort game makes such good money. But let's be honest, those guys are either jealous or just mad they got banned, which can be fair if they were banned without probable cause. But instead of just hating a community you once loved, maybe try and make a change like this video. Because believe it or not, I was most likely in your exact shoes at one point. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.